Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. Puddles and Splash are back, and it is a beautiful, sunny winter day, and the animals are being let outside to play. Splash and Puddles are going to go and do their rounds, as Farmer Vernon has kept that area shoveled. As they are walking, they see an unusual set of footprints and decide to follow them to see who has come to visit. Puddles and Splash have a strange visitor. "Cock-a-doodle-doo!" Chester yelled once, and only once, from the top of the fence inside the main barn, signaling that the day was to begin. Most of the animals grumbled. They hadn't been outside in a long time, and being so close to one another for so long, their moods were becoming glum. Splash, the large, strong dog whose job it was to, in the morning, guide the animals out of their pens, came and announced, "Farmer Vernon says it looks like the weather today is going to be mild enough to go outside. So shake off your funk and listen to Puddles as he guides you out the door." Splash then opened the large door to let everyone out. Animals on the Hampshire farm would normally roam freely throughout the fields, only returning to their pen when night approached. But it was winter, and that meant that the animals didn't always get to go outside as much as they used to. Many of them needed encouragement to do much of anything other than eat. "Couldn't you just close that door? You are letting all the heat escape," one of the chickens squealed. A couple more pecked in agreement. "Come on, chickens and pigs. It may be cold, but exercise is important. And look at that sun streaming through the door. All that sunlight will do you good," Puddles said as he tried to gently encourage them. The usual rush out the door was replaced with the slowness of winter. It had been very cold on the farm lately, so most of the animals had to stay inside. There was no more soccer, running, or exploring in the back fields, and so many of the animals were feeling especially cranky lately. Farmer Vernon gave Puddles a special sweater so that he could continue helping Splash, even though it was cold outside. Splash had a thick coat of fur to keep him warm. Puddles was no ordinary piglet. He was smarter than the smartest pig Farmer Vernon had ever seen. He had grown fast this summer, but still had a round, fluffy body with streaks of color on his legs and belly. Puddles thought the farm looked beautiful in winter, with the barn's red and white colors contrasting against the blanket of white snow. And it was so very quiet. You could hear everything, even the soft creaking of branches or the call of a winter bird from the forest at the back of the farm. Farmer Vernon's house looked like it was from one of Puddles' storybooks that he used to read. A thick blanket of snow covered the roof, and icicles hung like crystal ornaments from the eaves. Smoke gently curled from the chimney from the fire burning inside. Farmer Vernon even shoveled the snow around the buildings, creating a winding path connecting the house, barn, and the rest of the farm, making it easier for Puddles and Splash to do their daily chores. Even the tall evergreens that marked various fields were heavy with snow. Most of the animals slowly left the barn, except for the very young, who stayed behind to keep warm. The cows jumped and leaped as they exited the door. The pigs ran and huddled by their trough. The chickens simply pecked the feed left on the ground for them. They weren't that excited to get outside initially, but being out in the sun has a way of almost instantly improving all the animals' moods. "Most of the animals are out of the barn, Splash," Puddles told the big farm dog. "What are we doing today?" "We have a pretty quiet day ahead, I think. We should have a walk around the farm and make sure everything is okay, and then we will check in with Farmer Vernon and see if he needs anything. Otherwise, it's just watching over the animals. We have to keep them moving." "Sounds perfect," Puddles, always the optimist, said as they started their patrol. First around the buildings, and then along the trails that ringed the first few fields. As Puddles and Splash patrolled the perimeter of the cute red buildings, the ground covered by a fresh blanket of snow that had fallen during the night, their breath visible in the frosty air. They chatted about the easy day they had ahead. With a watchful eye, Splash remarked in his deep, reassuring bark, "Make sure to keep close, Puddles. The snow can hide more than it shows. I don't want you to get hurt." Puddles, trotting to keep pace, snorted in agreement. "Of course, Splash. I'm not about to let a little snow slow me down. Though, it sure is fluffy and deep in spots." Puddles always had to work hard to keep up with Splash, but he didn't mind. He knew that eventually he would be faster as long as he kept trying. They made their way along the shoveled path, the crisp crunch of their steps the only sound in the quiet of winter. Splash's nose twitched as he surveyed the area, while Puddles' curiosity had him peering into every nook and cranny, his little tail wiggling with excitement. "It's a quiet morning," Puddles observed, his voice muffled by the scarf Farmer Vernon had tied around his neck. "Even the crows aren't cawing." "That's winter for you," replied Splash. "It makes for long, lazy mornings and—" But Splash's words hung unfinished in the air as Puddles came to an abrupt halt, his small hoof pointing toward a unique pattern in the snow. "Splash, look!" Puddles exclaimed. "What do you think made these?" Splash ambled over, his head tilting as he inspected the mysterious tracks leading away from the area. He murmured thoughtfully. "That's something you don't see every day. Let's first check on the animals and come back to follow and see where they lead." Heading back to the field outside the barn, they first met up with Splash's sister, who was playing with Bubbles the cow. Farmer Vernon had left some toys for the animals to play with, including the long, thick rope the cows like to use to play tug-of-war. "What's up? You finished your chores already?" Puddles' sister said with an oink. "No, we found some strange tracks in the snow, so we are going to go and investigate." Puddles had a hard time hiding his excitement. "Are they dinosaur tracks?" Bubbles asked. "I heard Farmer Vernon reading a story about dinosaurs to one of the young piglets. It can't be a coincidence." "It's not a dinosaur," Splash barked in his characteristically serious voice. "Did I hear someone say something about a dinosaur on the farm?" one of the young piglets said as it was running by. "No, we just found some tracks in the snow. Dinosaurs don't exist," Splash said with a snort. "I better go tell the others that there is a large creature stalking the farm animals," the piglet squealed as it ran off to where the other pigs were standing near the trough. Splash let out an audible sigh. "Oh, this is how rumors start," he said gruffly. "Now we will have to make an announcement, or all the animals will run into the barn afraid." Splash trotted over to the center of the field and, in his big booming voice, barked, "Okay, everyone, Gather around if you can while I tell you what is going on." "I heard there are aliens on the farm and that they landed last night," one of the chickens clucked. "Is there really a grizzly bear?" one of the pigs oinked. "I don't think pigs and grizzly bears get along very well." No, it's not an alien or a bear or a dinosaur. Puddles found some small tracks in the field. It's a little unusual for this time of year to see any tracks in the snow, other than the cats, and they mostly stick close to the house. The foxes know better than to come by, and the raccoons have moved into town for the winter, Splash said. "So what do you think it might be?" Betsy the cow asked, lifting her head up from the salt block long enough to speak. "I don't know. I'm sure it's nothing serious, but it's worthy of investigation. So all of you relax and enjoy the sun while Puddles and I go off to investigate." Puddles and Splash left the field with everyone chatting. The animals crowded at the fence to watch them set off on their wintry investigation. As they trudged through the snow, Puddles couldn't contain his excitement. "Do you think it's a new animal we've never seen before, Splash?" "It's possible," Splash replied, calm and measured. "The farm's always full of surprises, even when the snow falls." They followed the tracks, which led past the familiar sights of the frozen bog and the silent scarecrow draped in a shawl of snow. The tracks wove between the bare trees that lined all the fields of the farm. "See how the tracks are spaced, Puddles? They continue for a while and then disappear. It's a light creature, probably small, perhaps with wings," Splash pointed out, his tail wagging slowly as he pieced together the clues. Puddles' pink snout steamed as he sniffed the air. No scent, though, just the clean smell of snow and earth. Their journey took them to the edge of the inner fields, where the farm's tidy rows gave way to the messy tangle of the woods. The trees were blown about by the latest storm. The path here was narrow, the branches overhead heavy with snow, threatening to dust them with white if disturbed. The tracks were fresher now, the indentations sharp and clear. They skirted around a patch of ice, forcing Puddles and Splash to walk a little bit slower. "Be careful here, Puddles, it's slippy," Splash warned, his paws spread to keep balance. Whoa! Puddles' hooves skidded, but he managed to stay upright, puffing out a relieved breath. "Oh, that was close." They pushed on, the trees parting to reveal the back meadow. Here, the tracks led to a thicket of berry bushes, most of their fruit long since gone. Puddles stopped briefly for an ice snack. Some of the berries remained, but frozen. Walking further, the tracks ended abruptly, as if the creature had taken flight. Puddles peered up into the branches, his gaze searching. "Where did it go, Splash?" "Look up there, Puddles, in the evergreens," Splash said, nodding his head toward the green boughs. Perched silently was a bird, its feathers a bright blue against the winter white. It looked at them with curious eyes. "Splash, she's beautiful." "She is, isn't she?" Splash agreed, his voice softening. "A winter visitor gracing our farm with her presence." The bird cocked her head, studying them with a curious tilt. She fluffed her feathers, puffing out against the cold. Puddles whispered, "Do you think she's lost?" "I don't think so," Splash said, watching the bird. "She looks right at home." Sometimes creatures wander far from their usual paths. That's how they find new places, make new friends. "It's always nice to meet new friends," Puddles said quietly. not wanting to disturb the bird. The bird then chirped, a clear, melodious sound that rang through the crisp winter air. "Do you know what kind of bird she is?" Puddles asked. "Not exactly. If I had to guess, I would say she is an eastern bluebird. It's very rare to see this kind of bird in winter." "Do you think she will talk with us?" "Sometimes animals just want to be left alone. If she wants to talk, she will in her own time," Splash said, calmly and quietly. "Maybe we should tell Farmer Vernon about her," Puddles suggested, already imagining the story he would share with the other animals. Splash nodded. "We will. But let's keep her visit our little secret for now. Let her enjoy the farm without a fuss." Puddles beamed. "Just our secret, Splash, our beautiful winter secret." And with that, they turned back, leaving the bird to her privacy. They made their way back to the farm, to the animals, with a story to tell when the time was right. And that's the end of our story. Good night. Sleep tight.